Welcome to the only dating show banned in the Proxima Centauri quadrant and mandatory viewing during galactic jury duty. I'm your host, Damian Lovejoy. Tonight, one brave Transit Authority maintenance worker will have the chance to find love with a being that defies spatial constraints and several interdimensional transit regulations. But first, let's catch up with one of our previous contestants to see how their interdimensional romance is going. Medusa, how is everything going with your cryptid companion?
Things with my Chupacabra have been absolutely transformative. We've moved into a lovely cave system with excellent drainage for both his blood collection and my stone garden. My petrification powers and his exsanguination abilities make us quite the efficient hunting team. We've started a small business selling perfectly preserved meat statues. The health department has visited 7 times, but they keep forgetting to file reports after looking into my eyes. But hey, at least we can now monetize my abilities. Sad Steve is paying me to do his health inspections for him, and in turn, I get a whole new section to my rock garden. I think I'm going to call it Health Inspectors. I'm still workshopping the name.
Nothing says relationship goals quite like synchronized hunting techniques and regulatory violations.
Welcome to the Cryptid dating game.
Speaking of violations, tonight we're helping a maintenance technician from the Subterranean Transit Authority find her perfect cryptid companion. Grizelda Voidpipe has repaired dimensional rifts in 17 abandoned subway tunnels, installed lighting in passages that technically don't exist, and survived daily commutes on the legendary line Omega, which arrives at its destination before it departs. It's a whole thing. Lots of horns blaring and people aren't sure if they should be getting on or coming off. It's really just an overall unpleasant experience. But can she find true love with someone who appreciates her unique perspective on interdimensional infrastructure? Please welcome Grizelda Voidpipe.
Thanks, Damien. 3 years at the STA, and I've already been partially erased from existence twice. Last week, I had to replace light bulbs that transform screams into jazz music. My dating profile says, likes long walks through dimensional portals. But most guys bail when they find me facing through their bathroom wall at 3 a.m. I need someone who won't freak out when I occasionally bring home tunnel rats that speak in riddles and predict stock market crashes.
Remember, the goal is to pick your perfect cryptid companion based solely on their answers. No peeking. Bachelorette number 1 is a tunnel-dwelling entity who navigates through solid matter like it's empty space. This subterranean being has created an extensive network of passages beneath Route 47 and claims to be the actual architect of the subterranean transit system's non-euclidean sections. She's looking for someone who isn't afraid of the dark and doesn't mind that her home decor is primarily composed of glowing fungus and abandoned mining equipment. Bachelor number 2 is a sentient transportation anomaly who appears on different transit systems throughout the multiverse. This being manifests as anything from a ghostly conductor to an entire phantom train car that vanishes at the next stop. He's been responsible for at least 7 instances of passengers arriving at destinations that don't exist, and 2 cases of commuters aging backwards during their journey. And Bachelor number 3 is a living infrastructure entity who merged with the concrete, wiring, and steel of an abandoned subway station during Algorithm Corporation's first dimensional breach experiment. This architectural cryptid can manipulate the physical structure of any building he inhabits and has been gradually expanding his consciousness along the power grid. Side effects of dating may include your home appliances rearranging themselves to be more aesthetically pleasing and occasional love notes appearing in your bathroom tiles.
Bachelorette number 1. Last Tuesday, I accidentally opened a maintenance hatch that led to a dimension made entirely of screaming wallpaper. How would you handle my workplace whoopsies?
Screaming wallpaper? Amateur hour. I once dated a plumber who unleashed a toilet dimension where everything was toilets. Even the toilets had tiny toilets. I'd just turn your workplace accidents into weekend getaways. That wallpaper dimension? Perfect soundproofing for my underground rave caves. Plus, free interior decorating.
Bachelor number 2. My last boyfriend freaked out when I brought him to work and he aged backward into a toddler for 3 hours. How would you handle transit-related transformations?
Time is just spicy space, honey. Last year I was simultaneously late to a date in 1986 and early for the same date next Tuesday. I once spent 8 seconds as every passenger on the 515 to Gorbos. Your schedule is adorably predictable compared to mine. We could meet for anniversary dinners before we've even met.
Bachelor number 3, I live in a studio apartment where the bathroom occasionally connects to the lost catacombs beneath Algorithm Corporation. Would you redecorate without asking?
I am the decoration, sweetheart. Last girlfriend complained about cold floors. I made them flesh temperature. Too dark? I installed windows that looked into other people's dreams. Your Algorithm Catacombs connection just saves me commuting time. I've been meaning to expand my consciousness into their lobby fountain. It looks lonely.
Bachelorette number 1, I sometimes bring home souvenirs from other dimensions. My coffee table is currently a sentient black hole that keeps eating my magazines and burping up star fragments. Compatibility issue?
Please, I collect black holes. Got 17 as throw pillows and 1 as a garbage disposal. Your coffee table sounds like a starter model. We could upgrade to something with real appetite, like my ex's personality. Ever seen a cosmic anomaly that specifically targets reality TV and transforms it into existential documentaries? Your magazines would be safe. Your sanity, debatable.
Bachelor number 2, my last boyfriend freaked out when I brought him to work and he aged backward into a toddler for 3 hours. How would you handle transit-related transformations?
Wait, was that your boyfriend? I thought that was just Tuesday's special temporal hiccup. Sweet voidos, I've been hit by dimensional backwash that turned me into steam, elevator music, and once, deeply embarrassing, a functional ATM that only dispensed pizza coupons. Being a toddler for 3 hours? That's just Line Omega's version of a gentle handshake. I'd pack snacks and clean underwear, just in case.
Bachelor number 3, the electrical wiring in my apartment has developed consciousness and keeps writing poetry in Morse code by flickering the lights. Roommate material or competition?
I'd adopt it as our child. My last extension took over a car park where the ticket machines started making bespoke mixtapes for regular customers. Sentient wiring is just infrastructure puberty. I'd mentor your little spark plug, teach it haikus instead of those melodramatic electrical ballads they all start with. Free mood lighting, and we'd never need Spotify.
For all of you, the STA is connecting Line Omega to Gorbo's swim hole next month. Last inspection team came back speaking backwards and with extra fingers. How would you support me through this career advancement opportunity?
Backwards speech is entry-level weird. I'd pack you lunches of non-euclidean sandwiches that feed both your current and future hungers simultaneously. Those extra fingers? Keep 'em. Great for back scratches. I'd be your personal tunnel guide. I've already got a timeshare inside Gorbo's third maintenance closet where reality gets particularly squishy on Wednesdays.
Darling, I'd literally be the tunnel. Why inspect what you could marry? Your team came back with extra fingers because they touched the raw infrastructure without proper introduction. So rude. I'd create safe passage, reroute any dimensional leakage into tasteful water features, and ensure all quantum instabilities become decorative light displays. Plus, employee discounts at Gorbo's when your husband is the transport system.
I am Line Omega's ghost train every third Tuesday. Been accidentally delivering passengers to Gorbo's deepest pool for decades. That's why his swim tests include temporal displacement questionnaires. I'd coach you through the inspections, translate the backward speech, and if you get stuck between realities, I'll be the train that picks you up. First class seating in dimensions where class means number of eyes required to perceive it.
Griselda, it's time to make your choice. Which bachelor or bachelorette will be joining you for a maintenance date in the interdimensional tunnels?
I'm torn between extra-dimensional plumbing or literal infrastructure matrimony. But I have to go with bachelor number 3. I've always wanted my apartment to actually listen when I complain about the water pressure.
Your loss. I've got tunnels that could have taken you places even your nightmares haven't visited.
All aboard the Rejection Express. Next stop, someone who appreciates quantum punctuality. I would have shown you the station where all lost thoughts end up.
Griselda, meet your cryptid bachelor.
Your circuit patterns are gorgeous. Can you really reroute sewage systems with just a thought? And is that a functioning ticket dispenser in your torso?
Thank you. Grew these tiles myself. And yes, waste management is my specialty. The ticket dispenser is decorative, but I can make A-Team a spit money if you're nice to me. Want to see me turn this stage into a revolving restaurant?
Another perfect match made in whatever dimension this show broadcasts from. Griselda and Bachelor number 3 will be enjoying their first date inside the walls of her apartment building, where they'll literally become one with the infrastructure. Talk about moving in together quickly. Join us next week when our contestant, a professional liminal space photographer, chooses between a being made entirely of static electricity, a cryptid that only exists in peripheral vision, and an entity that appears exclusively in reflective surfaces but never on camera. Remember, at Cryptid Dating Game, love knows no bounds, physical, metaphysical, or municipal code. I'm Damian Lovejoy, and on a personal note, I am fine, and definitely not slowly transcending into a multi-dimensional being holding our entire network together. Good night.